truth. We're about wisdom. We're about empowerment. Urban Family Talk.
So much so, you come back around in Ephesians chapter 5, what does the Lord say? That the marital unit is supposed to be a living, breathing illustration between Christ and his church.
Amen.
So what we have is a culture that's saying, no. What we want to do is smudge the image of God. Mm-hmm. We want to remove any distinction between manhood and womanhood. See, when you get caught up in the minutia, you think, oh, man, feminism is cool. Women should be paid equal. Women should be allowed to do everything men should do. Yeah, let's just throw them on the front lines in our army.
Come on, Abe. Man.
Maybe that's not the best idea. There's a reason why God made men with broader shoulders and bigger pectoral muscles.
Come on. Mm-hmm.
But we, professing to be wise, become foolish, blur the distinction between manhood and womanhood, not knowing that we're playing into the enemy's hand towards androgyny, where there's no distinction between the sexes.
And I want to say this too, Abe, man, and even in its subtleties, the attack on masculinity and femininity, because sometimes we will think that it's just enough that, no, I identify with my biological gender, I'm good. Mm-hmm. But even understanding that to be masculine and what that embodies and to be feminine and what that embodies, these two also point to the glory of God in creation, and we've really missed that. I want to ask you this though, Abe, when we talk about the infiltration of our schools, this is something that we cannot hammer enough. It was once subtle and consistent, but now it's overt and rapid. What kinds of things do we see happening that parents really need to be on the wall about?
And listen, and I'm just going to be honest with the listeners. After this Obergefell decision, put your seatbelts on. Mm-hmm. Put your seatbelts on, because now they have the legal carte blanche to discuss in school, in sexual education classes, in civics classes, the rights that have been achieved within the same context of the civil rights movement, the homosexual marriage issue, to present family as being whatever they say it is. Mommy and mommy, daddy and daddy, mommy, daddy, mommy. It has made it wide open. In school, we just participated in opposing an initiative in Louisiana, and you have to understand how legislation works. If something is happening in one state, just wait. If it hadn't come to your state yet, it's coming.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because you have these private special interest groups who use test cases, and once they get something passed in one state, they try to repeat it in another state, and even prior to it being passed. And I'm saying as a person, I went for years to the state legislature in Baton Rouge, and I found myself fighting against the same legislation over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So an example of what you have to contend with is that you have curriculum being mandated from a state level being presented that is couched as anti-bullying legislation.
Come on, Abe.
But what it is, and then you think about it, bullying has been around forever.
Come on.
I grew up in the Ninth Ward. There was a lot of bullies in the Ninth Ward, but nobody ever tried to put forth some legislation mandating a specific type of teaching. Yeah. It's called treat others the way you want to be treated. The golden rule. Hello.
Right.
But it's couched in terms of anti-bullying legislation. And what it is seeking to accomplish is to, first of all, prohibit discrimination based on these opaque and vague terms that are undefined, gender identity, actual perceived sexual orientation. But then it also mandates the teaching of sexual education that would treat homosexual sexual interactions as being just as normal, if not preferable, to heterosexual.
Oh my.
Now, if you don't believe me, you may want to check with your own local school systems and see whether or not what I'm saying is the truth. Because I'm telling you, I know it is the truth.
Yeah.
I've opposed this bill myself over 10 years. You have these things being foisted upon our states and our school systems nationally. Nationally. And these are things that are just being repeats of things that have happened in other countries. Yeah. In Canada, you have textbooks.
Yeah.
That have been sanctioned. In California, you have textbooks with graphic illustration depicting these vile sexual activities.
Man. Lord have mercy.
And it's being mandated to be taught. Which is why, once again, as believers, we got to draw the line in the sand before we're confronted with an issue. We have to resolve it in our hearts. It come hella high water, I'm standing on the Lord's side.
That's right.
Now, when these very things are presented to me, I don't have to wonder where I will stand. And then it begs the question, and it always happens in the inner city communities, say, well, hey, Mr. Preacher Man, they're not teaching the children about sexual activity, so the schools have to do it. I said, no, they don't. The school, what does reading, writing, and arithmetic have to do with usages of condoms?
Come on,
Not
man.
a thing.
At all.
Not a thing.
You know?
Yeah.
But they say, not in the specific verbiage, but the actions convey, they have no fathers in the home. They have no parents in the home, so we will be their parents.
Yep.
Wow.
The parents won't teach them about sex. We got to do it. We have to do it.
Man.
It's time to be
And the
sober.
thing-
Yep.
And the sad truth is, they step in and they teach whatever they want.
Yep.
Yes.
They teach.
They
whatever
have an
they
agenda,
want, you know?
and they're going to
They have
get
an
that
agenda.
across.
And here's the question.
That's
How,
right.
how are you going to
That's
stop
right.
it now? Because marriage is great, right? Well, the law says homosexual marriage is legal.
Man.
There is no longer any legal basis to prohibit that being taught in the school other than it exceeding the
Right.
boundaries or the scope of what school's supposed to be about.
Right.
But
Oh, they're going to seize that moment. This is like
Yeah.
Not
another
going to.
another
They
grab
have.
to get your kids.
no, they have seized it, Will.
Yeah.
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 I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I've read curriculums.
Man.
I've read the curriculums that even
I'll
go as
tell
far
you-
as to say that if your parents suggest to you something other than what this curriculum is saying, you should understand that they are wrong.
Man. And you think about
Crazy.
this, parents who love the Lord. Who has your children more hours during the day?
Bingo. And how
Who
does
of them?
faith come?
You know what I'm saying? By hearing. Come on. So what are they hearing for 8 hours a day? You
And
know?
look, we got to give people solutions too. So I want to do that because
Yeah.
people are
Okay,
sitting there
that's
thinking
great,
like,
Will.
"Well, what do I
That's
do?
great.
I can't."
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do that. Let's take this break. When we come back, we'll talk solutions.
Truth. We're about wisdom. We're about empowerment. Urban Family Talk.